Here for the final round. Currently deuce. Just getting ramped on. This hand's pretty tight. Might just have to fetch second black, which I guess is fine since I have flooded strand. It all works out. It all works out. Quagmire, I think, is Abzan, but I just never know. Alright, so I would like to play Seeker instead of Grasp. I think Grasp deals them damage. Like, if I play Seeker into Grasp, then I deal them more damage and actually gain a life. So I'm just going to do that. And I think I want a Delta for Swamp and Strand for Island to turn on Painful Truths. Although, then I need to find another white source for Gideon, but basically all my fetches turn it on except for Bloodstained Mire. And, you know, if I draw something else, if I draw like basic Island, then I just play that instead. So, right now I'm thinking that my spot is kind of medium just because I'm on the draw. And I have cards like Painful Truths and 2 Planeswalkers, which are a little difficult to protect on the draw. But my hand is certainly powerful. I just need to not get run over. If my opponent has Anafenza this turn, it becomes a little more difficult. I get to kill the Anafenza and still attack with Seeker, which is like basically the same plan, except then they get to like play a Rhino or whatever, and then things get really tough. So yeah, this looks like Anafenza. Okay, Eiley helps. Definitely helps. Probably means I have to take a turn off to play that Eiley. But might not have her 4th lane anyway, so we'll see what happens. Might just get Dromoka's commanded here. And if our opponent misses a land drop, we're kind of on equal footing, which would be good. We do get commanded. And then if our opponent doesn't play a land, we might be able to just cast Painful Truths. Well, now maybe we can just cast Gideon, actually. We would lose Gideon to a second Dromoka's command, but I think that's okay because the next turn we might be able to cast Painful Truths into Eiley. So our opponent missing their land drop there was pretty huge for us. Hoping for no Dromoka's command, and then I think I can turn the corner, but if they do have command, I'm still kind of in it, especially if I'm able to play Truths and Eiley and they still don't make their land drop. I think I should be pretty far ahead either way. And I don't think of a worse scenario. Alternatively, I could just take it. To let them knock it into 1, but then I'm risking a potential Abzan Charm. Their land ETB's tapped, and now we have a Murderous Cut. So the plot thickens. I'm going to start things with Painful Truths. If I brick off on being able to cast Eiley, at least I can still cast Murderous Cut. And now we are, in fact, pretty far ahead. So going to make a Knight and an Eiley. Could be Ailey. I don't know. I have no idea how to pronounce it. And this might be like Abzan Charm draw 2. Our creatures are all Abzan Charm proof. And Death Touch gets around my opponent having a Giant Sylvan Advocate. So yeah, 12 all. I'm pretty far ahead. Nice little boost in velocity from the Painful Truths, and now we have Murderous Cut, which both of these should be 1 mana, and it should be pretty easy to win this game. Even if my opponent plays like Wingmate Rock or something, like that's probably the worst case scenario, and I'm still fine against that. So it is now looking pretty good. Gideon was able to hold the fort. So snapping off this block. Pretty glad I blocked last turn to not lose my Gideon to an Abzan Term also. What do we got here? Transgress the Mind. Go nuts. You're behind on board, and I have a bunch of sweet spells. Yeah, you can take my Sorin, but still just going to kill you with this Gideon. Could also just transgress this turn, but I don't think it really matters. 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I think I'm just going to cut. Activate, put him to 3 or whatever. More worried about tempo rather than actually seeing what's going on. Although I guess I was so far ahead that like maybe I should cast Transgress to get a better idea of what's in my opponent's deck. Like I can probably guess most of it, but it's like, does my opponent have Reality Smasher in their deck, for example? Like I don't know. I don't know if that should actually change anything for like how I play or sideboard, but maybe it does. I don't know. I do think I want the Languishes. Wingmate Rock is pretty good. Kalitas is nice too. Probably better than some of these Planeswalkers on the draw, although I might want Sorin actually. Transgress. Silk Wrap is fine, even though they have Dramoka's Command. I think I have enough removal that I could potentially just like keep them off having a thing for command, but that's more likely to work on the play. So our deck is kind of a hodgepodge right now. We have Wingmate Rock, Languish, which is like not really a combo. I think on the draw, I just want to be like a little more controlling and have cards that help me catch up. So I like the Languishes. Maybe the third Wingmate Rock is not good on the draw. I do want some Gideons. It's possible Jace is just not very good. I might not have time to actually mess around with Jace. Painful Truth kind of suffers from the same issue too. Seeker. Yeah, we'll just cut these Jaces. Well, we can't because it gets in the way of the card preview. Alright, so we'll cut Jace. Kind of a weirdo move. And then I don't know. I still think I want these Silk Wraps even though they're so bad against command. To cut one card. I like all my cards. This is kind of a good problem to have. Alright, I'm going to cut the Silk Wraps. And either want a Wingmate Rock or a Planeswalker. Maybe one Jace is fine. Don't want to draw too many clunky cards when I'm on the draw. That's kind of the issue. Alternatively, I could just have one Disdainful Stroke, but I don't think I'm going to be able to keep mana open. Yeah, I'll just do one Jace. One Jace. Our opening hand is 7 land. That's pretty impressive. I guess we mulligan. Alright, this is good enough. Creature land is nice, but much rather have a spell. Alright, we got a lot of grasps. Those are definitely quite nice in the early game here. Take down an Advocate, take down an Anafenza. Oh, now we have Languish too, so we kind of have all the bases covered. On 4 toughness creatures. Rhino is definitely a problem in this draw. And I think I'm just going to grasp this. So if my opponent plays Rhino, I'm probably just going to play Ruinous Path. Alternatively, there's probably a line where I get to attack a Secure the Waste token into a Rhino. They'll probably block, and I can Languish then. It's not an efficient way to do that, but... Well, now my opponent knows all my secrets. Probably not going to take the Languish. Probably just going to play around that. Yeah, take the path. Makes the most sense. Painful Truce here would be great. Treasure Cruise would also be castable. Grasp looks silly. Picture implies that I'm supposed to use Grasp on like an Eldrazi Scion. That seems like a poor use of the card. Alright, well, just draw up what our opponent took from us. Possible I should have just fetched their end of turn. Probably be better to draw a Shambling Vent than a Plains, so... May as well have made that shuffle. Our opponent's kind of stuck on lands again, which certainly helps our cause. Makes things a little bit easier. They're not really doing anything. Okay, now they're doing something. Yeah, main phase, draw 2 cards, try and hit land drop. And they brick. Jeez, that is just really impressive. So, fetch Plains, fetch blue-white, secure for 3, which I feel like is a pretty reasonable use of the card. Make our land drops, try and get up to Awaken for this Ruinous Path. And we're just using Grasp. Well, maybe I should have taken my turn. I could have just Reflector Maged it instead. But if I drew a Gideon, I would definitely want to be able to cast it. So here's Rhino. Now I have the option of using Reflector Mage if I want to. And I think I do. So opponent's at 8, is going to cast a spell. If we draw a land, we get to Awaken, which is pretty nice. Yep, Thought-Knot's here. Okay. So they do have colorless stuff in their deck. They took my Ruinous Path. Ooh, hello. Let's draw some cards. Okay. These cards are all great. Yeah, it's going to be tough to lose from here. I'm going to Rhino up to 5, and then I can just get an Emblem, and they're dead. So it was basically a little bit leaner in this match. That was kind of all it came down to. Leaner, had some card drawing, got under my opponent. Boom! Match win.